A major victory today for young immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. The Supreme Court blocking the Trump administration's effort to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for being with us. I'm Dina Kupfer. It is Thursday. It's June 18th. We appreciate your time this afternoon. The decision in that case now means that those immigrants known as Dreamers will not be forced to leave anytime soon. CBS 13's Skylar Henry is following the latest developments from Washington.
The nation's highest court says the Trump administration's attempt to end the federal program known as DACA was arbitrary and capricious. For now, some 650,000 immigrants will keep their legal protections. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the court's four liberals in the 5-4 ruling. Roberts wrote, "We do not decide whether DACA or its rescission are sound policies. We address only whether the agency complied with the procedural requirement that it provide a reasoned explanation for its actions." Then President Obama signed an executive order creating DACA in 2012 after Congress failed to pass immigration reform. The policy was designed to protect undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children from deportation, often referred to as Dreamers. 90% hold jobs and 45% are enrolled in school, according to a government study. Nearly 30,000 are working in the healthcare system.
I work as a pediatric ICU nurse. Due to COVID-19, I had to transition into adult ICU.
I have a great heart for the folks we're talking about.
But in 2017, the Trump administration announced the end of the program, arguing it was created with an illegal executive action.
The issue in this case is who gets to make the immigration laws, the elected representatives of the people in Congress or the unelected Secretary of Homeland Security. And that's the principle that the Trump administration is fighting for in this case.
In its ruling today, the court said the Department of Homeland Security can go back and look for a different way to end DACA.
And President Trump took to his Twitter this morning to blast the Supreme Court's ruling. In one tweet, he wrote, quote, "Do you get the impression that the Supreme Court doesn't like me?" In another tweet, he writes, quote, "As President of the United States, I am asking for a legal solution on DACA, not a political one, consistent with the rule of law. The Supreme Court is not willing to give us one, so now we have to start this process all over again." And Governor Gavin Newsom called today's decision an important victory for the 200,000 California Dreamers. His statement went on to say a permanent solution is needed for undocumented Californians and says a pathway to citizenship is not enough.